Welcome to Sexy Freedom Media Podcast. My name is January Liddell, and I am your co-host for this amazing podcast. I'm here to share lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur. And I'm speaking about this because it's very dear to me. And just a little background about me. Since I am new to Sexy Freedom Media Podcast, I'd like to introduce a little bit more about myself. I am a wife to a veteran, mom to two amazing children and two doggies. And I became an entrepreneur for several reasons, actually. One that's very personal and I'm not really able to share online at the moment. But if you'd like to ask me, I am an open book. You can ask me in person, either on Facebook or on text message, Instagram. You can message me and ask me, why did you become an entrepreneur? There's actually a really main reason why I became an entrepreneur. But it all started, let me take you back to when I first came here to Hawaii. So I came here to Hawaii with $200 in my bank account, $200. And again, I have like a reason why I didn't find a regular job. So, and that I will share with you if you ask me. But I started to be creative and resourceful, and I was a nanny for a high executive, actually. He is the CEO of an advertising company here in Hawaii that advertises for Hawaiian Airlines at the time. I don't know if he still does it, but at the time he was the CEO of the advertising firm. And they had twins. In fact, her publication is called Island Family. So I don't know if it's still circulating, but back then it was circulating. She was the publisher for it, and she has twins. And so I became her nanny. And then shortly after, I founded my company, Milestones Video Productions, and I filmed weddings, birthdays, graduation, all of the above. So again, that's my entrepreneurial spirit. I created this company. Milestones Video was in existence for quite some time. And then I decided to venture off and become a special ed teacher, which is something that I actually really wanted to do, was become a special ed teacher. And I was a special ed teacher at 𝐏𝐸𝐿 Elementary in Waianae. So I fulfilled that dream, right? When you're a kid, people will ask, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I actually wanted to be a teacher. So that was, one of my dreams, was to become a teacher. Well, I became a teacher, and then shortly after, I got pregnant, and Sam left for Qatar, and I was left with a 6-week-old. And at that point, I just said, I think it's best that I just stay at home. So yes, I fulfilled my dream of becoming a teacher. Absolutely loved it. And of course, on the side, I was a Sunday school teacher, and loved that profession as well, because not only did it help me grow spiritually and faithfully, but I have so many long-lasting relationships because of that field, and I was able to to meet so many really wonderful people, and my faith grew because of I was the Christian ed director as well as the teacher. So check that off the list. I feel like I'm checking a lot of things off my list. And then after that, I became pretty much a stay-at-home mom. So I was a stay-at-home mom because Sam left for deployment. In fact, throughout our we've been married 16 years, right? But he retired last year. So I guess 15 years in the service, he was deployed 7 times out of those 15 years. So it's quite a long time for him, for us to be separated. But I had to come up with creative ways, to earn money, because I wanted to be home. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I wanted to be home for Junior at the time, and so I did. I stayed home, and even when I was at home, I actually created a company called Mama Loves Baby, which allowed me to research different products that were efficient, for mom and baby, So I actually had a kiosk at Schofield Barracks, and that was so much fun. It was a lot of work to, have to set up and, pretty much set up. Setup was a lot because I was setting up almost like every other day or something. And I didn't actually have like a booth, but I actually have like a stall. And so that is where I started. And then fast forward 2013, I was introduced to Purium because, again, at that time I wanted to lose weight. The whole baby weight, and you know how moms are, right? We just want to get back to our bodies. And so I got introduced to Purium, and Purium was really my first experience as an entrepreneur. Well, as a network marketer. So that was my first experience as a network marketer. And, I met a lot of people. That is one thing I can say about being an entrepreneur is that we're able to meet so many people of all ethnicities, of all backgrounds, and now I'm able to meet people globally, right? Because I think the pandemic has helped that too. I'm able to meet a lot of people globally. But yeah, so I became a network marketer with Purium. And then of course I gave birth again. So I gave birth to Nina. And then after, I was pregnant with her and I gave birth, I really just focused on the family because at that point we were in a transition from going from Hawaii to Texas. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that during that time I was devastated. Devastated to say the least. And I was devastated because I didn't think that we would leave. I thought we would be here for good, not leaving, and so I was focused on that. And mind you, so when Sam left, that was September 2017, he left for Texas. We moved to the Philippines. So we were in the Philippines for 3 months. And then, it didn't quite work out. We missed home and it was just hard. It was hard for, us to just be there without my parents. And so I decided to go home. So I went back here to Hawaii and we were here for a little bit. And so we moved to Texas, June of 2018. So June 2018 up until last year, we were in Texas. And so, the whole time I was like, what am I going to do? And to be honest with you, I actually really didn't know what to do. My friend, my bestie, Bella, will tell you, I was at a loss. I really was like, I have no idea. Entrepreneurship has always been there. In fact, I've taught the kids, the lemonade stand. I really encourage them to do the lemonade stand, lemonade day. And that was great because it taught them several different, entrepreneurial things like how to create a business, how to create a brand, to save, share, and spend, right? So, so definitely I've been, kind of incorporating what I know, what I love as being an entrepreneur, and I've been sharing it with my children. So now fast forward, so I'm back here in Hawaii and a lot of different things kind of came my way, just kind of came on my lap, and I loved it. I became a teacher again. So I was an online teacher teaching English to Chinese students. And that was fun. It was fun to get to know these kids and to just a different mindset being a teacher. And as teachers, there's a lot of preparation and a lot of energy involved and all that. And but really the rewarding part is just seeing the kids, excel and really understand the concept. So that was so much fun. It was very hard to let that part of my life kind of go and move on and transition into something else. And of course, there was Zaya. So Zaya, I love Zaya. As you can tell, I still wear Zaya daily. Obviously not wearing it now, but I wear it daily. And I will always wear it because I love the colors of Zaya. I love the culture of Zaya. There's a lot of things I love about Zaya. So I was doing that as well. And then of course, now I'm a financial strategist. So that's kind of where my entrepreneurial spirit, kind of flowed from. And I really do believe that I found my niche. So 10 things 10 things that I've learned as an entrepreneur. Number one, personal development. Personal development is key. It is the one thing that we actually have to do on a daily basis, because that is what's going to create, I guess, like a different mindset for us, a different mindset, and to move forward with our business. There's no way, I don't think there's any way for us to grow in our business without personal development. So number one for me has always been to focus on personal development. So such as reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks. I've joined a lot of different workshops, such as PSI, and other free, there's free challenges, free boot camps on Facebook. You just have to look for it. But I've joined those and I've learned so much, along with meeting a lot of different people. So number one is definitely personal development. Number two is investing in yourself and in your business. So it kind of aligns with number one, where it's personal development, right? There are some free personal development things and there are some paid ones. And, I really suggest that you invest in yourself. I feel like what you invest in yourself will come back out, whether it be in monetary or whether it be like who you are as a person, who you're building as a person. And of course, investing in business. I mean, you kind of have to put in money in order for the business to grow, right? So all the different things that you've seen, like my banners, my pictures, all of those things, those are all investments, right? But one of the things about the investing part in your business is that they're tax deductible. So we are at 1099. So those of us who are entrepreneurs are 1099. The beauty of being 1099 is that we have so this is number three, we have all these tax advantages, right? So if we were earning 100,000, but we had like $30,000 in business expense, whether it be supplies or marketing or whatever, then we can apply those expenses and have tax advantages, right? So that's number three. Number four, one thing I learned about being an entrepreneur is it's definitely in the mindset. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you have to put that positivity in your mind, hence me posting a lot of positive stuff, positive quotes, all that. Really need to keep your mind focused on that and focused on what it is that we're attaining to do, right? I have to tell myself to focus. There are many times, I was just telling my friend Deborah, who I just met, she's a time management coach, and we were just talking about time management, and we were talking about how one of my weaknesses in time management is that sometimes I'll go down a rabbit hole. So I'll be researching one thing, and then all of a sudden I'll see all these different links. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. And I'll click that, then I'll click that, and so I will continue down this rabbit hole until I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally missed my focus and what I was supposed to be researching on. So the word that I use is focus. And that word takes me back to where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. So mindset is a daily exercise. I think that was number four. I hope that was number four, because I'm kind of jumping around in my stuff, but my notes. But mindset is another key factor as an entrepreneur. We have to be mindful of what we see, what we put in our ears. It's actually biblical too. Okay, so those of us who are Christian, it says to guard our hearts, right? So as an entrepreneur, we need to guard our hearts. We need to guard our eyes, guard our ears, because we do need to have that certain mindset. As a business owner, we are responsible for our businesses, right? We can't rely on somebody else. So those of us that do work in the state or in the government or have other jobs, you are accountable to your bosses, to your coworkers, all this. So as an entrepreneur, it can get kind of lonely. I think other people can attest to that. it can get lonely because you are just really by yourself. You're by yourself. You know, of course, you have trainings and other things with the company that you're with, but it can still get really lonely. And it's really up to you to take that initiative to do the business, you know, and to work, to work. Because there's times that you don't want to work. There's times where you're like, no. And so mindset is key. That was number 4. Another thing I love about being an entrepreneur is the freedom and the autonomy to do what you want, right? So as a financial strategist, one, I am licensed, so I'm a licensed agent, but I'm continuing to do more continuing education. I have to actually. That is just a part of my profession and what I chose to do. And but as a financial strategist, I'm now able to kind of design, you know, my page and however I want. I can design, you know, my logo, my, you know, whatever, which is amazing. I love that I can do that. Yeah, so the freedom to and autonomy to kind of do what I, you know, what I envision or what I create. And so created my website, right? I don't know if you've seen it, but it's JanuaryLiddell.com. So I had another marketing company help me design that. Again, it's freedom. So I can change it. So it doesn't have to be that particular website. It could be something else. You know, I can change it to something else that I like. The other thing I like about it is that I remember when I was working somewhere, I had to ask for permission to travel, and that always like kills me that I had to ask for permission. I'm like, okay, so I'm the type of person that doesn't like to ask for permission to travel. I just want to go. I just want to travel if I want to travel. There's, like I said, so there's several different pros and cons for being an entrepreneur. Okay. But I'm talking about all the lessons that I've learned. And one of the lessons not lessons, but one of the things that I love about being an entrepreneur is the freedom to choose when to travel, when to go, when to work. You know, there are moments that I will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I don't know, I'm awake and I have energy. And so during that time, then I put in the work. And the rest of the day, I either working if I want to work, or I can do something else, right? Freedom. I lost my count, but I have a feeling this is number 5 or number 6. Hustle and grind daily. So a lesson that I've learned is that your business will only grow as much as you put your work in it. I mean, that's as simply said and done. Like, it won't grow if I just sit on my butt and do nothing. I actually have to put in the work. So however much you work is however much you'll gain, right? So in the first year or 2 of your business, it's going to be whatchamacallit, like kind of this uphill. Okay. So it's this uphill incline when you are just starting out your business. And it's going to be harder in that first 1 to 2 years, right? But as long as you get over that curve or that incline, as long as you get over that incline, 3 and 4 should be a better place. I know it's like, oh my gosh, I have to wait 3 or 4 years. Yeah. But then if you wait like 5, 6, then it should be downhill in terms of you have your systems in place and your business is up and running. Things should be, in a better framework because you're already inundated in your business, right? Number 6, hustle and grind daily. Okay. The only time I don't grind and I don't hustle is Sunday. So Sunday, oh, I forgot. Okay, so that was number 6, hustle and grind daily. Another thing that I do that I've learned is set your own hours and boundaries. That's why I wanted to say it. The only time that I don't work is Sunday because I've set my boundaries. So as a business owner, you get to decide what is your hours, what is your office hours. And I love that because so there's some people in the East Coast, right, that I work with, and they're up 6 hours before me. So if I'm up at 3, I can actually call them because they're already they're already awake. It's like, what time is it over there? It's like 9. It's like 9 o'clock over there. So I can work at 3 if I choose to work at 3. But I do set my own hours, and I love that. So set hours and set boundaries. So another thing is like our time, right? I value time. Our time is, precious. And so if I say that I'm going to talk with you for 15 minutes, then I will talk with you for 15 minutes, and I will ask you, do you have a hard stop? And if you don't have a hard stop, then we can continue going as long as I don't have another appointment right after, right? So I'm so sorry. I need to write down all my list of things that I've learned. There's actually 10, and I will go through it again at the end of my conversation. But the next thing that I've learned is finding our niche. So as I told you in the beginning of my story, I actually had all these different hats, right? I was a teacher. I was network marketer, and I sold, 𝐏𝐸𝐤, that's network marketer. So I had all these different hats, mom, wife, right? All of these different things. And it really is, for me as an entrepreneur, it was a story of finding my niche and where I belong. And it was great because along the way of trying to find all these different things, I also gained all these different skills, right? So when I owned my business, my video company business, I have that skill. When I became a teacher, I have that different set of skills, right? And then I was a photographer at 𝐏𝐸𝐤𝐚. I forgot to mention, I was a photographer at 𝐏𝐸𝐤𝐚. Absolutely love that. And still love it. In fact, maybe when I'm like retired, I will go back and work at 𝐏𝐸𝐤𝐚 because I love 𝐏𝐸𝐤𝐚. So that is a different set of skills, right? So all of these different things that I've done have shaped me to be who I am today. So it's not in vain. It was all in, there was a reason for everything. There was a reason for me to be in all these different positions. And I am so thankful for those different positions. Okay, so number 8, I don't know if I said time management, but I think I did. We talked about time management. Okay, so the last one I want to say is mistakes are inevitable. That is the last thing on my list, is mistakes are inevitable. And it's okay, because mistakes are what helps us grow. It's what helps us figure out how to do things better, right? So when mistakes happen, it's not so much a mistake, but it's an opportunity to grow. And that's really how I see mistakes. Oh my gosh, I made so many different mistakes, but I'm so thankful for them, and appreciate, that it has allowed me to grow into who I am today. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to make more mistakes. I'm still young, so I'm going to make more. So expect me to make more. In fact, this podcast, so doing this podcast, again, it was just for fun. I really wanted to just interview my friends, get to know my friends a little bit more on this platform, ask them questions, and intentionally really ask them questions. And I'm all about sharing. So if you know me, you know that I love to help. I love to share, especially if it's something that's going to help you in the long run, or it's going to, assist you in whatever that you need. I love helping. I love sharing. And so I started this podcast for fun, and it's really just organically grown into this amazing thing. And I'm now, a co-host for Sexy Freedom Media Podcast. I think that's amazing. I'm so happy to be partnered with Helen. She brings like such a different energy, and the things that she talks about, is on point with the things that are aligned with me. So grateful to be a part of this podcast. Let me just break down all of the things that I've learned. This is my notes, so I'm just reading from my notes. That's not how I talk, so pardon me. But these are the lessons I've learned. Lessons learned as an entrepreneur. Number 1, personal development is key. Number 2, invest in self and in business. Number 3, we set our hours and our boundaries. Number 4, mindset is a daily exercise. Number 5, freedom and autonomy as an entrepreneur to create and do as we please that will help our business. Number 6, hustle and grind daily, just work daily. Work when you're inspired. That is one thing that Tasha has taught me. Work when you're inspired. That's going to be on another podcast. Number 7, find your niche. Number 8, time management. Number 9, we have tax advantages. And number 10, mistakes are inevitable and expensive, but they help us in the long run. And so that is it for my my show for the day. Apologize, I usually do my shows on Friday, but today I did it today because tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, and so I'm focused on her. So that, again, that's another beauty of being an entrepreneur. We can actually shift and change our time so that it'll benefit whatever is going our way at the moment. And I can work anywhere, right? So that is it for the day. Have a great Thursday. I was trying to figure out what day it was. Have an awesome Thursday. This is January Liddell, co-host of Sexy Freedom Media Podcast. Aloha.